Yeah, buddy, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Unapologetic Sports. It's your favorite Unc in the building, along with the fly guy himself, Flying Brian. What's up, brother?
What's up, Lee Ice? It's a
Hey,
bittersweet. It's
huh?
bittersweet. It's bittersweet. We always ask each other how we're doing, and we say, "Man, it's great. It's just football's over. It's officially over."
I know, man. What are we gonna do for the next what? March, April, May, June, July, all 6 months, man.
Well, it's funny because football, they sprinkle in stuff. So when we get closer to, because combine starts in like 2 weeks, and then we got free agency, then we got the draft, and so we still can always bring it
Yeah,
in.
the
But
little things that lead up, like you said, the
yeah,
combine, then the draft, then the schedule release,
yeah,
and you got free agency somewhere in there. So, but what we gonna do on Sundays, man?
yeah. My wife, I think, will want me to go to church 24/7. So I don't know.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Happy wife,
Then
happy life.
sure, but not 24/7. And I literally mean she. If we could go to church from sun up to sundown on Sunday, she would. So
Oh, wow. Whoa. Ugh. Yeah. Well, it's time to put the football stuff away and bring out the Steph Curry stuff.
yeah, I got a D Brown jersey from when I was like 10. I'll see if that still fits.
Your pops had to get that to you, being a
You know
Celtic
what?
fan.
It was funny because as a kid, he was a huge Celtics Larry Bird guy, and I remember we watched the slam dunk contest together. I had to be, I think, 6 or 7, and we rooted for the Celtic guy because it was D Brown. Right, and he was so good and so awesome. That was my guy. So he had Larry Bird, and I had D Brown.
Bert was still in the league then?
Yeah, he was like towards the end. He had like
Yeah.
1 or 2 years left. Yeah.
He couldn't even, he can barely walk. I know he had a bad back. Larry Bird. All right,
So
man. Hey, we want to thank all of y'all, or as we say in the DMV, everybody, for tuning in to last week's show and thanking everybody for tuning in this week's show. Like I always say, I hope me and the fly guy can entertain y'all doing whatever you're going through. Like I said, you had a bad day at work, we got you covered. Arguing with your significant one, we got you covered. You need something to eat or drink? Well, we can't help you with that, but you can
but after
listen
you
to
get
us.
it, after you get it, we got you covered.
Yeah, after that, we got you covered. We can send you packs of Annihilators and Rock Creek sodas. That's what we do on here. So, but anyway, yeah, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning last week's show and this week's show. And we hope we can do what we do for the next 60 minutes, put a smile on your face. Maybe we might not put a smile on your face. Who knows? But guess what we're not going to do? Tell them what we're not ever going to do, Fly Guy.
Just in case you don't know the name of the show or can't see the fancy background, we won't apologize. We don't do that
We
here.
won't, we won't apologize for what we do or what we say. That's why it's called Unapologetic Sports. You ready to get things started?
Yes, sir.
What you got?
Oh,
What you got? You messed up.
yeah, I did.
hmm Legal procedure, Fly Guy.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Always got props in here. You can throw the flag.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's just get right to it. Super Bowl recap. What you think, man?
Uh, yeah. I mean, it went the way I wanted it to. I
Yeah, I bet.
can't deny that. Maybe we can get a little in depth conversation on no Drake May, but yeah, the defense wins championship moniker definitely came through in that game. It was
you know,
a little boring. My wife, my wife's Latino and she didn't know anything about football until she started dating me. We've been together for 20 years, but she to this day still asks questions even when we watch it. But throughout the whole game, this is boring. This is boring. No touchdown.
a lot of people thought it was boring, but that just shows how we've been brainwashed. And the NFL has so often, so much over the past definitely the past 15 to 20 years, that we can't appreciate a good defensive game. You know what I'm saying? What Seattle
I don't think it was
did,
boring per se. It wasn't exciting offensive wise, but the defenses was great and they were beating the crap out of Drake May, so that was all right.
yeah, that was exciting, man. I love to see defenses just F a team up, man. And even though I was rooting for New England, I gotta appreciate that. You know, they was
Oh,
like
did you
you
bet?
said,
Did you bet on him, or you just
no, I didn't bet. I bet on props, and I left
oh?
both quarterbacks alone because I knew the quarterbacks were not going to have a good day. You
So
know,
what was the reason for rooting for New England? Just to put it to me? Is that why?
nah,
Oh,
I don't know. Nah, I mean, I didn't mind seeing. I'm gonna tell you, it's real petty. Real, you ready for this?
okay.
Because I hate the damn 12s. If
Oh,
that's not
okay.
the stupidest, dumbest nickname, you know, oh, we want to think the 12s. I want to think the 12. What the hell is, oh, come on, really? The 12s. If that don't sound stupid as shit, what does?
Yeah, they said it 100 times when they had the Super Bowl
Yeah,
ceremony too. They said it at
I,
first. I was like,
uh,
"Well, what does he mean?" It's like, "Oh, that's what they call the fan base." Okay,
yeah, the
the
12s.
the
What the,
12th men.
it's just, they don't even say, if they say the 12 man, okay, but they actually call themselves the 12s.
I think that's the first time I've heard it referred that. I've never noticed. I know they always talk
Nah,
about the
it
Seattle
goes,
fan base.
trust me, it goes
Yeah.
back to when we lost to them in 2005 and
Okay.
2007, and they had the dumbass every 12 jersey and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
12, and
They
then
got
when
some kind of
Russell
banner
Wilson
too, don't
won,
they? Or so are they on the ring or whatever? There's something with the 12th.
I don't know, when Russell Wilson was saying it, it was just so damn irritating.
That
The
makes
12.
sense. That makes sense.
And so when they won, this was probably the first celebrate like super. You know, when they interviewed, I didn't listen to it because I couldn't bear to hear that
Oh,
dumb
it's like the
shit.
first thing out of their mouth was talking about the 12th. Like it's been 12 years since they won, and with the 12th, I was like, what are they talking about? I was like, oh geez, that's
I
old.
mean, Bill's Mafia. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying?
that's good.
Versus the 12. What the heck? Really? Raider Nation. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
The
With the
12.
dog, you got the dog
The
pound. Even
dog
you
pass.
guys had the I guess the hogs was yeah, you had the hogs.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man. I mean, the 12s. That is so dumb. Comment out there. Let me know what y'all think about the 12s. If that ain't the stupidest shit, I don't know what stupid is. Anyway, getting back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's why I couldn't, you know. But much respect to their coach, you know. He's not very exciting though, is he?
So we could actually do this in the coming weeks. We just sprinkle a little football in week to week. But uh, Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. He did not get the MVP. Not that he should have. I'm saying he didn't. Um, he's won one before. It's been talked about everywhere before. Allen, Lamar, and Baker. Fine. Uh, Going into next season, and I guess like I said, we'll do a list. Is Darnold in the top 10 quarterbacks going into next season? You had to make a top 10. Is Darnold, I would guess, 10 or 9 going
I
into next
mean,
season?
I don't see how you cannot put him in there whether you want to or not. The guy is 20, what, regular season 28-3? I mean 28-4.
Yeah.
Is that right? 14 and no, 14-3, 14, 28-6. My bad.
Yeah.
28-6. So I mean, and the thing is, win the games, you know. He didn't F up in the playoffs. I mean, he didn't F up Sunday. He didn't do anything spectacular,
But
but
he
he
didn't
didn't
need
lose
to.
the game, you know.
And then the championship game, he went, stride for stride with Stafford. It was,
He went stride for stride with the
yeah.
MVP. So I guess, I mean, yeah, I would put him in the top just out of respect, you know, just like I used to put Jalen Hurts in there, but I would, you know, there's so many quarterbacks you would take
I know
over.
we'd have to. I know we'd sit down right now. Okay, but let me put you on the spot again. Flip side of that, real quick. I know he was right there for the MVP, but his playoff performance was bad. And if it's been historically bad, the way if you start because now everybody's going to micromanage everything and they're breaking down all these different stuff with May's performance in the playoffs. So it's becoming historically bad the entire playoff run. So going in the next season, does Drake May make your top 10?
He makes my top 10, but people are so damn fickle, they go on, they ride what's hot right now. Drake May was an MVP candidate, and he won't admit it, and that's the type of guy he is, and the team ain't gonna admit it. But he was hurt in the playoffs, man. You could tell the difference. He was hurt. He was taking cortisone shots in his shoulder, and I mean, like I said, they're never going to admit it, and he's never going to admit it. But yeah, that wasn't the same Drake May as in the regular season.
And I
But
agree. But
but like you said, if I'm on the field, it's no excuses. So
to be devil's advocate on that is that he was hurt. That's fine. Um, but is it going back to the schedule? You played all these teams that were, it was the third easiest schedule in the history of the NFL. You put up MVP numbers. You play 4 times in the playoffs, and you're awful. I think it was 55% completion percentage for the 4 games. He had 6 touchdowns, 8 turnovers. He had an 84 passer rating. So it's historically bad. And there's EPA numbers that are coming out. It's the worst of all time. So is he just injured? Just he's young, or is he not as good as everybody thinks he is? And the playoffs exposed that.
you
I think
can't
there's a lot of questions. I'm not saying one or another. I know where I'm leaning to. We'll find out in the coming years, but
you can't take his regular season away. You can't do that. And here's a history lessons for you. Everybody talking about, oh, they didn't play nobody, they didn't play nobody. 1972 Dolphins went 17-0. Guess how many teams they beat with a winning record on the way to the Super Bowl?
I know they
Besides
had, the one I think
none,
or
zero.
none. Okay,
Every team they beat in 1972 in the regular season had a losing record. So you play who you play, man. I mean,
I'm not denying that. I'm
yeah,
just saying, do all this, and again, I'm plugged into AFC East rival fan pages, trash talking all the time. So it's in
mhm.
way and more in my face than it in yours.
Oh, I
So
get it. Yeah, I
leading
get it.
up, yeah, leading up to the playoffs and leading up to the Super Bowl, it was the dynasty's back. We found our new Brady. On and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear
Trust me,
anybody saying that about Bo Nix.
we was getting it on my end too. Oh, who's the better quarterback? They should have drafted May instead of Jaden
Well,
Daniels.
there's some of
Da, da,
that
da.
too. Yeah.
Who? I'm like, are y'all effing serious? Come on, man. People just get caught up in the moment, you
All right.
know.
Real quick, shout out to our numbers because Super Bowl hangover doesn't apply to this. We got record numbers of people watching. So let's go to some of the comments we already got. And we got
Okay,
old Matty Ice
there
talking
he
about
is.
how he got a hold'em penalty, so gave him $200 because it caused a touchdown. And then he also said the game went how he expected. Seattle just way better than the other team New England played. I don't know if they're way better than Buffalo, but they were better.
Shout out to the smooth operator, Mighty Ice.
So we are actually streaming on Twitter today. This is the first time our show is streamed live on Twitter. So we have a follower, the boss. What's up, fellas? And he shared our show. And then
All right.
we have a listener or a viewer in
Look
Wisconsin.
like family tuning in.
His cousin, says spanning everywhere. He got sacked so many times during the playoff games. His offensive line, even though if his shoulder was hurt or not, the offensive wouldn't help him. That's true. But real quick on that, I don't deny that the offensive line wasn't great. I was watching the show again today, and they released a number. They said down to the second. I think it was just the Super Bowl. Down to the second, Drake May had as much time to throw as Sam Darnold did. Darnold was not sacked like May was. May was holding the ball long. He was panicking. He was, again, the offensive line wasn't great. I'm not saying it was, but he was not. He wasn't
I
handling it
thought
well
he
either.
should have. I thought he should have ran more, and I think the
That
reason why
too,
he didn't run
because he was
because
hurt.
of the shoulder, you
Yeah.
know. But he's going to get killed the whole off season. I just hope their fans don't turn on him. You know what I mean? Because he had a bad game or bad playoffs, but they still got to the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't take that away. You see what
No,
I'm
they
saying?
did, I think it showed as the playoffs went on. It was the defense they got a really good defense,
I mean,
and the defense
he's
did
gonna
well. I mean,
bounce
they held.
back. He's
We'll
gonna.
see.
I just hope, like I said, I hope their fans not that dumb to turn on him. Like some of our dumbass fans. Oh, we should have drafted him. We should have drafted Drake May. If we do the draft over, we go, man, shut the hell up.
No, I mean, your Jaden's season was rookie season was an all time great. I will say, because we're doing a show and be a little impartial, the injury concern is a concern. I mean, that was one of Lamar's big knocks early on is that he wasn't as big as somebody like a Darnold or an Allen or so, coming out of the draft. And Drake's been, I mean, not Drake, Lamar's been hurt, more often, a little bit more than Josh Allen has missed, I think, 2 games in his entire career. So he's like an anomaly. But Burrow, like a guy like Burrow, he's missed lots of stuff. And Jaden,
Right.
hopefully that last season was just bad luck and he's not going to
And I
just.
think it was because he wasn't hurt in college, you
Okay.
know, unlike Michael Penix, you know.
Right.
So
Okay. And then Tua was hurt all the time in college too.
and I hope they don't try to change his body. Maybe put a little bit of weight, but don't change that man's body, man, because then you're gonna slow him down.
So Harry Sweeney wants to know what jerseys that you got on.
It's 26 because 26 is going to be our year, Harry. 26, buddy. It's actually a Clinton Portis jersey.
All right, so we got another family member, Drake. Drake running is what actually he was sitting next to me when we were watching the Super Bowl. And he kept throughout the entire Super Bowl. He's going, he's not running. Why is he running? He needs to run. Is not
Right.
what got him through the playoffs, the Super Bowl. He didn't do any of that in the Super Bowl, even when he had the opportunity to run. Yeah, and we just touched on that you think there's a reason for that, which I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll bounce back. I think New England is here to stay. I think Drake May is here to stay. They just ran into a defense that Josh McDaniels didn't have an answer for.
And one more comment before we cover more stuff from Keith Hodges. Love the show, fellas. Keep up the good work. May was definitely processing everything in the pocket super slowly. Seahawks had a great game plan with the pressure off the edge with Witherspoon. Yeah.
So
Ro-
overall,
ro-
you
ro-
thought it was a boring Super Bowl?
um, I didn't think it was as boring as my wife did, but again, I was enjoying it because if it would have been the other way around and the Patriots were doing that to the Seahawks, I wouldn't have been enjoying it. So I might have thought it was more boring. But it definitely wasn't the worst Super Bowl. It wasn't that great, but let's just hope we're not in the middle of another NFC dominating. We've had 2 blowouts in a row, and they've both been NFCs. Let's hope we're not entering the 80s and 90s era of the NFC destroying the AFC every year. When the Broncos got spanked 3 different times, Buffalo was
Oh, wow,
spanked
yeah.
3 of the 4. Chargers were beat badly. The Steelers with Neil O'Donnell throwing interceptions on purpose to Dallas and just a
The
awful, awful
80s
run.
was the 80s was worse. It was dominated by the NFC.
Yeah, we
Only
had
one
nine. You had
AFC.
Niners won 4, and the Redskins won. Oh, they won 2. They won the third one in '91.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
The,
it's
the only team that won was the Raiders.
and the Bears destroy. Yeah, so let's hope we're not entering that. But it seems like, um, you got before I segue. Any more thoughts on the Super Bowl? Or
No, I enjoyed it. I mean, I like defense. I just think we just sell offense too much, man. And it's like we to a point where people thought it was boring, because there wasn't no touchdown score. But then when they scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, then you're complaining there's no defense. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, and
I
to
like balance.
right, and but to segue on that, as you brought this up, we were talking before the show. Obviously, the NFC looks like they got much stronger defenses, and that's how the Seattle won, and AFC is known for because you have, if we talked about doing quarterback rankings, a lot of people would have Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, May, and up in the top. So AFC is known for their offense. So you asked me earlier, how would we feel if you, what kind of coach you want? You want an offensive minded coach or a defensive minded coach? Now I'll go second because I'm about to enter a new era for my team on that. So
All right. So your uncle did some research. I'm
okay,
going back 25 years. I'm going back to 2010. Out of all the Super Bowl coaches that won, besides Belichick, let me say it again, besides Bill Belichick, who got done dirty by the Hall of Fame, only one defensive coach won the Super Bowl
it's
up
Harbaugh, right?
until no. John Harbaugh
Oh,
wasn't the defensive coach, he was a special teams coach.
oh, okay,
Pete,
okay,
Pete Carroll, he's the only one. 2010, Mike McCarthy. 2011, Tom Coughlin. 2012, Harbaugh, but he was a special team coach.
okay.
2013, Carroll. And after that, from 2014 all the way up until Sunday, all offensive coaches besides Bill Belichick. Gary Kubiak, Todd Peters, Bruce Arians, Andy Reid, of course, Nick Sirianni. All them offensive coaches. So before we compare to would you rather have an offensive, defensive, what was you about to say?
So obviously Sean McDermott was defensive minded, and throughout the season he had a top, pretty much the whole entire time here, he had a top five defense. Now he also had Josh Allen, who a lot of people will consider top three, four, five quarterback of the last 6, 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going into the last seven losses the Bills have had, their defense has given up 32 points a game, and their offense has averaged 28 or 29. So personally, for my team, having a defensive minded coach didn't technically work in the playoffs. They fired him and they hired an offensive minded guy. Partially for me thinking that if your team is built around your defense, then you want the defensive guy. But my team was built around Josh Allen. I mean, that's all you see every week is Josh Allen and everyone else, no matter what anybody else did or who they did. And maybe that's unfair to a guy like James Cook and some of the guys on defense. But so for me personally, I'm glad they have an offensive minded coach right now. But the team's not built. It's not built for the defensive side of the ball, or it hasn't been. They haven't been able to build it. So I think like
And that's crazy because some of defensive coaches, good defensive coordinators, and they go to become head coaches, and it doesn't work out. You know,
right.
it doesn't
I,
work out.
I think it's more exciting for your fan base if you believe the guy's offensive minded and he's gonna that's what the center of attention is because you want the offense to be exciting. But and maybe it's just specifically for McDermott that for whatever happened in the playoffs, and it's not just Mahomes. Like they lost to Cincinnati, they lost to Denver, they lost. They gave up 30 plus points to those in the playoffs. So I don't know what the meltdown is. And with Allen not having an offensive minded coach, he still was won an MVP. He's still considered one of the best players, and he's the average, I don't know, 27 to 30 points in the playoffs. So
Did
me
McDermott
personally,
call the plays? Did McDermott call the defensive plays?
he called them most of the time early on, and in this season or last this season, yeah, we'll say this season still, he didn't call them. He took them over halfway through.
And this is where I'm making getting to my point here. They get hired because they were coordinators and they was calling the plays. Then they get the job and don't call their damn plays. They hire other defense coordinators to call the plays, like Dan Quinn, you
Right.
know, and
And Joe
Belichick. I
and
think I didn't notice, but they said Belichick wasn't calling the plays. It was what's his name? I can see him. He was the head coach at Cleveland, big black guy. Oh God, he was terrible as a head coach, though.
if Midnight Rider's in here, tell us who it is.
Yeah, where's the midnight run? Where's the human Google? Come on, man. So,
So to piggyback on that, so Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, he's already announced he's calling the plays, and there was some stuff coming out that McDermott was putting restraints on Brady too, calling plays.
and see, that's the difference between
So your
offensive
defensive
coordinators.
minded coach is putting restraints on your offensive coordinator. So I don't like that either.
That's the difference between
Yeah.
offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators when they get hired as coach. Most of the offensive coaches continue to call the plays, while the defensive coaches don't. Unlike Mike McDonald, he calls the plays. And I think the defensive coaches, when they get hired, they should continue. There is
Yep.
Romeo Cornett. You can always count on this guy, man. You can always count on him. Give me some, man. Throw it up.
My cousin in Wisconsin who grew up around here wanted to let you know that his whole family they represent. So he's a Redskins fan, Commanders fan. His wife is a Patriots fan, and his son is an Eagles fan.
Dang, that's a hell of a household, dog. Now, I did some more research. Going
Okay.
back to the 70s, it was more defensive. You
Right.
know, you had the Steel Curtain, you had Doomsday Defense, you had the No Name Defense with the Dolphins, you had the Purple People Eaters. So in the 70s, it was really about the defense. You know what I mean? Then the 80s come along. And I think this is where the switch comes in. Because then you got Eric Coryell, late 70s, early 90s. Then you got, of course, the GOAT, Joe Jackson Gibbs. You got Bill Walsh, Bill Parcells. Most people think Bill Parcells is a defensive coach. He's actually he was more of an offensive coach, as you know. And then, of course, Bill Belichick was his defensive coordinator. So in the 80s, I think that's when you seen the switch to offense. And I'm thinking back in the 80s, the only defense, of course, the 80s, 85 Bears always mentioned, but the 86 Giants with Lawrence Taylor, you know, back then, it was more defensive players. You had LT, he came in the 80s, then went into the 90s. Had LT and Mark Gastineau. Then once we got into the 90s, you still had defensive players, but not defensive teams. Defensive players like Derek Thomas, Charles Haley, Dion, Reggie White, but not no dominant defenses in the 90s. At least
Right.
I can't think of one. If anybody out there can think of a dominant defense that really stood out in the 90s, let me know. Or let us know, comment. And then, of course, the 2000s, it was all offense. And then 2010 is offense. And it's continued to be offensive now.
But when you had
So
your special defenses like the Ravens in the 2000 who dominated
definitely
that
because you
one
had the
year,
Ravens,
but they
yeah, the
couldn't sustain it.
2000
It was just a one
Ravens,
year. And then you had the Legion of Boom. You had that 2 year
right?
span where they went, yeah. But it didn't maintain. You're talking about that. Sean McVay, who's considered to be one of the best coaches, offensive minded, has always called the plays. They've been to
Mhm.
2 Super Bowls. They've won one. They're in a championship game this year. They are consistently at the top of the NFC almost every year. And he's always called the plays.
So and I was trying to think of the advantages and disadvantages for offensive defense. But what was funny, what I came up with, what might I say?
Matty Ice just said Bears Super Bowl shuffle because I mentioned the Bears, or you mentioned the Bears.
So I was trying to figure out the advantages, disadvantages, and what I came up with, every advantage for the offensive coach, having an offensive coach, is a disadvantage for the defensive coach. And my three biggest ones was, of course, it's an offensive league now.
Right, obviously.
My second one is you don't have to worry about an OC because you're an OC. If you're a defensive coach and your team does good, especially on offense, you're going to lose that coach.
Right.
Like Seattle, Kubiak's going, he got hired. And then I think the main one is if you're an offensive coach, you're going to have a relationship with the most important player on your team. And that's the quarterback. If you're a defensive minded coach, you're not going to have that relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're just not. So every offensive advantage is a defensive advantage. I couldn't find no good defensive advantage to hire a defensive coach
I mean,
because
Belichick
he,
was a defensive coach, but he's the
right,
extreme. But he's the anon. I mean, he's the
but he
guy.
kept
So
losing. Think about it, he kept losing his offensive coordinator.
yeah,
So you're gonna if you do good as a defensive coach, you're gonna lose your offensive coordinator.
I think
So
that's one of the reasons that Buffalo hired Brady. They didn't want him going anywhere.
right, and the best offensive season that we've had. I mean, 2024 was okay. Was when Sean McVay was calling the plays back in 2015. Our offense, and then he got hired 2014. Gruden was calling the plays, and he said, "I'm gonna let McVay call the plays." Whoa, well, we made the playoffs. You know,
And Kyle
so
Shanahan did.
can you think of an advantage to hire a defensive coach? Can anybody out there comment, say what are the advantages of hiring a defensive coach? I can only think of disadvantages.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had a defensive guy for 8 years, and all I kept hearing watching shows is Josh Allen is the only top 10 quarterback in the league that doesn't have an offensive minded coach. And up until he got fired, everyone was like, the only reason McDermott has still got a job because Josh Allen happens to be the quarterback. But then after he gets fired, all the fans are like crying, no, he's the greatest coach ever, whatever. But so I want an offensive minded coach, and I got one. So we'll see how that works out.
I think it's going to work out for y'all. I think it's going to work out with y'all. Y'all leaving that stadium, maybe a new stadium will bring y'all a Super Bowl. Lord knows that stadium got some bad. They got some nice victories though,
They got
but
some good AFC Championship victories.
yeah, they got some good AFC
Yeah.
championships. It's
You've
when y'all
convinced me
leave.
so much on the Joe Brady thing because I was on the fence on it that coming up next the two greatest segments in the history of sports talk media, I might have Joe Brady on my segment because you've convinced me
Uh,
so well on that.
mm-hmm. 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 All right.
All right,
Good
so
time. Are we taking a break
yeah,
first?
we'll take a quick break. We'll come back for the two hottest segments, and it looks like we might have some new viewers. They're going, what two segments are those? Well, you're gonna know now.
You're gonna know. You're gonna
think about me. Someone to hold. You can put me on airplane mode. You can put me on. You still gotta think about me. Someone to hold. You can put me on airplane mode. You can put me on.
You know what? We just had the Grammys. That should be nominated for one.
That should have been the halftime show.
Mm-mm. All right, B, it's time.
All right, so we're gonna do. So it's be a little different. So before free agency, before the combine, before anything, I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be flying high for next season. Already, I know that these guys are gonna be flying high, without any team upgrades or anything. Wherever they're gonna be, wherever they're gonna be, they're so good, or I think they're gonna be so good. They're gonna be flying high. I'm gonna start off with no particular order. I think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are gonna be flying high next year. I do. I think health aside, as long as that's okay, you're going to be what a third place schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Third place schedule. Uh, the division is wide open. The Eagles are going to have a pretty wild offseason with AJ Brown and all that kind of stuff. There's still questions, and Jalen Hurts is the start and all that, but all this turmoil seems like to be with the coach and the quarterback and your top receiver and all this stuff. Every year, the Cowboys are the loudest team in your division, and they do
No,
absolutely nothing.
no.
And the Giants, maybe, but not yet. It's too early. I don't think they're going to pull a Patriots and turn around from 2 or 3, 4 wins and be that good. So
Not with that coach.
yeah, I think you guys are the team to beat in division, and I think again, like I said, injuries, be damned. I think you guys are the team to beat going into the next season, not the Eagles. I think you guys are. I think since it's official now, Matt Stafford will be coming back, coming off the MVP season. I think him and the Rams will be flying high. The betting odds have already come out. Them and the Seahawks are tied for the favorites to go to to win the Super Bowl. So
Really?
yes,
Wow.
I should have screenshotted it and have it up here, but yeah. So the Seahawks and the Rams are the favorites to win the NFC and win the Super Bowl. Buffalo and Baltimore were the two AFC favorites. Buffalo slightly ahead of Baltimore, and then I think it was the Patriots and then the Chiefs, and then your other teams in the NFC. The Bears were up there. I'm trying to blank on what it was, but it was Rams, Seahawks for the NFC, Bills, Ravens for the AFC. And I think the Rams are gonna
Love putting the Ravens in there, man. They love putting the Ravens in there. I've said it a million times. As long as Lamar's there, they're not winning the Super Bowl. And people hate me for that. But guess what? I don't.
So yeah, Stafford and the Rams. I think. Again, I'm not lying. I was on the fence, but our talk last week, and I think we talked about it on the Sunday show too. I got Joe Brady's new Buffalo Bills going to be flying on high in the next year. I know
I
everybody's
agree.
going to be. I know
I agree
everybody's
with
going to be on the Patriots, and I know that, but Vegas doesn't seem to think that because they got Buffalo ahead of them in the AFC. But I think the Patriots will come down to earth a little bit. They're gonna play a first place schedule. The schedule I think this year was like 0.73 for the win percentage, and going in the next season, they're playing a schedule that's 0.52. So huge difference. They're going to be playing a tough. Buffalo's been playing tough schedule too. Buffalo plays tough schedule every year. They've won 10 games 7 straight years. So I don't think it'll be any different. I think the Bills are going to still be the team to beat in the AFC. Be flying high, hopefully. Good timing by old Matty Ice. Clint Kubiak is flying high. His presser in Vegas today had me pumped. First thing he did was talk to Max too. So that's good. If you didn't know, if you didn't check out the show last week, Matty Ice, I had the Raiders on my flying high for the season because I think it
which
worked
was
out
crazy.
where they were so bad at the right time that they have got all the pieces in the right spot to be a team. Because you got to think, man. Patrick Mahomes is what going in his 9th season, 10th season.
And this is his first.
They come off
He's
a
coming
really
off a
bad
major
injury.
and
Yeah,
he's turning 30 now, right?
right. And the Broncos are still fairly young, but you got a hot new young
But
coach.
they have a little him and Bo Nix and Peyton. I heard
Oh
not getting
yeah,
along too well.
okay, right. And then the Chargers, Harbaugh's been there 3 years, and Herbert can't do anything in the playoffs. So it looks like if you're a Raiders fan, you got all the pieces lined up. In 2 or 3 years, it'd be your division. If Mendoza is just pretty good, because in the next 2 or 3 years, Lamar is going to be 30, Allen's going to be 30, Mahomes is going to be 30. So, and then so I will have the Raiders flying high again to tend to the audience.
Smooth operator. I know he loved that.
So yeah, just 4. I didn't do a whole lot. Just wanted to again, it's way too early, but just to have a little fun with the segment. But even though it's gonna be early, it don't matter because it's already getting cold. It's always cold. And this is the place you don't want to be.
Open up the door.
You don't want to be here when the season starts. You don't want to be here when the season's in the middle, and you don't want to be here when the season ends. It's cold.
Whew, man. Now, before I get to the future, I'm going to put some people in the freezer for the Super Bowl, okay?
Cool.
Josh McDaniels, get your ass in the freezer because you did not adjust to the Seattle's defense, and you damn near got your franchise quarterback killed. Josh McDaniel, your ass go in the Super Bowl. I mean, go
Super
in the
Bowl
freezer
freezer.
for that
The Super
damn
Bowl freezer.
the Super Bowl deep freezer. Stephon Diggs.
Oh, gee, we didn't even talk
Did you
about
even
that.
play? I didn't even
But
know. Look, I didn't even know he was on the field till he got stole in his face.
but do you know all
It's,
the other stuff about him? Have you read all the
I've
other stuff?
heard it. Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't know if any of it's 100% confirmed, but there's all this talk that he brought I don't know if it was a side girl or his baby's mama to her, and she didn't know. Cardi B broke with him halfway through the game. Oh, woo! And he got arrested earlier in the day for something else.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think there's any chance he's on the
he
Patriots.
might not even be playing football next year.
I don't think the Patriots bring him back. I don't.
All the
Why?
shit he going through. Yeah. Stephon, get your ass in the freezer. And I hate putting Drake May in the freezer, but I'm not apologizing for it. Why, Brian? Am I not apologizing for it? Tell them.
Because we don't do that here. Unapologetic. That's what we are.
That's right. Drake May, your performance was beyond pitiful. So get your ass in the freezer. But the number one people I'm putting in the damn freezer,
The 12 man.
damn fans or people or whoever you are who keep freaking complaining about the damn halftime show. Don't like it, don't effing watch it. People was complaining about it before it even started. And then the backlash afterward.
Who
Again,
cares?
we didn't have to effing watch it. And I would say the other word, but I know Mama Sweeney's watching, and I'm not going to say it because Mama Sweeney is watching. So, don't like it, shut the hell up, turn the station, do something. I'm sick and I'm tired of people complaining about it. They did the same shit last year when
Kendrick
what's his
Lamar,
name
right?
performed. If you
Kendrick
don't
Lamar.
like it, yeah, when Kendrick Lamar performed, you don't like it, okay, so what? It's not for everybody. I mean,
It's not for us though. It's not for the football fans. It's for the wives and the kids and the people that don't care
and
about the
that's
game
another
itself.
thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's taking its own life now.
Yeah, it has.
When you're talking more about the halftime show than the damn Super Bowl, something that's not good. The Super Bowl, I mean, it's still a big game. It will always be a big game. But this damn shit is taking it on a life of its own. And you know,
Because it got wrapped
I'm
up in
almost like,
politics. It got wrapped up in
that's what I'm
politics.
saying, man. Oh, I get it. You want to send a message, you want to make a statement, but you can get mad at me if I say this. I don't give a damn. It's not the place, man. We're here to play a game. We're here to watch for
Escape.
entertainment. And
Football's
if
an
you're gonna
escape.
put something out there that's gonna piss people off, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's not good. You know, whether you believe in it or don't believe in it, you're always gonna have somebody that's going to complain. Not somebody, a whole lot of people, because you're only catering to, I'm not going to say one audience, but you know you're definitely not catering to certain audience, and you're going to receive the backlash. So all y'all people complaining, shut the F up. And you know I want to say the other word, but because Mama Sweeney's watching, I ain't going to say it. All right.
Real quick before you got your freezer now.
All right.
Matty Ice wants to put Team Canada in the freezer because the U.S. women's hockey team just smoked them 5-0.
Yeah, I saw when they was up 3-0.
So go ahead and put the Canadian team in the freezer. I'm gonna get a USA chant in the soundbite for, because remember, this is Unapologetic Sports, not Unapologetic Football. So
Yo, we putting Canada
we got some
in
Olympics
the
to cover.
freezer. Of course, the U.S. women hockey team is flying high.
They're flying way high. They're kicking ass.
All right, we're going to get to the future freezers in 2026. I'm going to start at number 5.
Okay.
It's a duo. How about that? The Harbaugh brothers. Y'all are in the freezer.
Wow.
Okay. Jim, okay, boy, this is your second year. Yeah, you made it to the playoffs, but once you got there, you might as well didn't even show up. Jim, you're in the freezer. Your brother's coming along. They like, how you gonna put him in the freezer? You're going to New York, and like I said, that's not a good fit, man. They're gonna roast your ass if you don't do something quick up in there. They gonna roast you. So you might want to go in the freezer when you feel that heat up in New York. So number 5, I got the Harbaugh brothers. Number 4, I got the Cleveland Browns. And to quote my brother Midnight Rider,
They've been in the freezer since the '90s.
and to quote Midnight Rider, what the hell? What are we doing here? Can somebody tell me the plan that's in Cleveland? Seriously, who's going to quote it? I mean, what are we doing in Cleveland? Does anybody know? Help me out. What are we doing in Cleveland? If y'all know, feel free to comment, because I don't know what the hell is going on in Cleveland. Shout out to Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. Get your ass up out of Cleveland, man. I don't care how much they paying you. Get your ass up out of there. The third, people are putting in the freezer, the replay committee or the rules committee, NFL, y'all need to do something, man. The replay, when something is obvious and you see it on the replay, even though it wasn't called, call it. That guy should have got thrown out the game. He threw a punch.
Oh, the punches? Yeah.
Yeah, he threw a punch, man. If it's an obvious pass interference and you show it on the replay, call it. So was that the rules committee or the replay committee? Put them both in the freezer. I don't care. Number 4, you're going to like this one. I call them the 4 horsemen. Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, and your boy, Josh Allen, they in the freezer. They just watched Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl.
They watched Sam Darnold's defense win a Super Bowl.
No disrespect to Sam Darnold, but y'all 4, y'all get all the glory, all the prestige, and y'all ain't won jack. Joe did get to a Super Bowl, but he's been hurt ever since, right? Hasn't he been hurt every season?
The next season, they went to the championship, got beat by the Chiefs, and since that season, they haven't been to the playoffs.
Dak Prescott, you making all that damn money. You can't even get past the second round. Then you can't even make the first round. I mean, they ain't made the playoffs the past 2 seasons. You know how I feel about Lamar. I don't care. Y'all can hate me. I don't give a damn. Lamar Jackson would never win a Super Bowl, but he's always going to be in my freezer. And your boy, he couldn't have had a better opportunity, man. Couldn't have had a better opportunity. No Burrow, no Dak, no Mahomes. Hold up. Let me take that.
Dak.
That's what
I wish he was playing
out my mouth. I can't even believe I said that. I can't even believe I said that.
I'd love to play the Cowboys in the playoffs.
No Lamar, no Mahomes, and no Burrow. Okay. And he couldn't get his squad there.
Well,
and the number one in the freezer, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all been in that joint for 30 years. And you still gonna stay in there. Oh, like you said, the loudest team in the NFL, the biggest bark, and no bite at all. Dallas Cowboys, y'all in the free. I got a special place for y'all. You know, on the off season, it's gonna be all about the Cowboys, and then
Jerry makes sure
we know what's gonna happen. So yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, y'all sit your ass in the freezer, but you should feel comfortable. You've been in that joint for 30-something years. So. There you go, fly guy.
All right, so Matty Ice, like that you put the hardballs in there. He's a big fan of that. And then my uncle was a Cleveland fan. He said they haven't had a plan since Marty Schottenheimer left.
He's a Cleveland fan for real?
Yeah. He likes the Commanders because he grew up here locally, but I think there's a story behind it. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, he's He's a Cleveland fan. He has
Damn.
Cleveland jackets, have Cleveland jerseys. He spent money on Cleveland merchandise. So yeah, he's been to Cleveland games. I think he's been to the Cleveland Stadium and saw them live. And he's a Cleveland fan.
So, coming back, what did you do the time when the Browns left Cleveland for 3 years? Who were you rooting for? I hope you
Again,
weren't rooting for the damn Ravens.
no, it was the Commanders. It was the
Oh,
Redskins. Like I said, it's been both. Now we can have a whole nother conversation about people that have 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. I don't personally understand that. I know there's people that like that. I got an AFC team and an NFC team. That's fine. But again, I'm not a Bills fan because of where I grew up or where I was born. I became a Bills fan as a kid because I accidentally picked them in Tecmo's Super Bowl for the Nintendo. I was playing my uncle, and they didn't want me to reset the game so I could pick the Redskins. So I played. And because it was 1991, in Tecmo Super Bowl, they had Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith, Don Beebe. So I won. I beat my uncle as a 7-year-old.
Thurman
So that
Thomas was a Thurman
I
Thomas was
know.
a beast on Tecmo
I
Bowl.
know he was. So that became my team. I got the game a little bit after that, and then I always picked them. They were so good at the time. Well, I had Buffalo merchandise as a kid. A lot of my friends in elementary school were Buffalo fans.
Really?
They, yeah, because even though they lost 4 straight, they were a hot team. And also, you got to remember for kids, their colors are blue and red, so that's very accessible to wear and buy as a kid. I remember when the Carolina Panthers first came out, everybody liked their colors, and everybody had their stuff in elementary
Yeah,
school
the
and middle
teal or
school.
whatever color that was. That
Yeah,
man,
like
that's
the
all
the
that
Charlotte
fun.
Hornets with the grandmama era.
Yeah,
Everybody had, yeah.
yeah.
So that helped too. But every one of my friends didn't like them anymore after, that era where I didn't do that. And I don't really
Yeah.
have a baseball team or a basketball team. It's only Buffalo for me. So that's the
And
different
I
for them.
hate ex Redskin fans who became Raven fans. Those are the ones I'm like, you was never a Redskin fan, bro. You can't go from Washington to Baltimore. All right.
Yeah,
You
my dad,
can't
my
do it.
dad never did that. Now, dad used to be a Senators fan, the baseball team. When they left, then he was an Orioles fan. But then when the Nationals came back, he right back to the Nationals.
I
So
was a Braves fan because, we didn't have baseball when we was growing up. But when the Nationals came, I became a Nationals fan. So
I don't really like baseball. So I watched when the Nationals were good. It was exciting for him and all that. I would like to. I like basketball. I don't mind watching it, but the Wizards are so bad. It
right
just
now,
yeah, I know. Yeah, but like
they're
but it's
going to
not
be
like
good next year.
well, maybe we're gonna be talking about basketball a lot more coming up in the next few months. But it's not like football. Like even if your team is bad in football, but like you still might make the playoffs if you're like 8 and 9 and maybe could do something. But if you're bad and they're as bad as they are in basketball, you got to suffer through every game. Because I got them programmed on my ESPN app, so I get the score highlights and I get the stuff popping up. And I think it was they were playing Miami like a couple days ago, and they were winning like after the first quarter. I was like, oh, they're winning. They lost by like 25 at the end of the game. It's like, God, like how
I
can you
haven't
sit there and
watched.
watch this
I,
every day? Like I couldn't do it.
I haven't watched a full Wizards game since they had Russell Westbrook. I can't. I try and I just get. I'm like, why am I torturing myself? You know what I'm saying? Why? And then they really screwed me up the other night. I had them against Detroit, who has the best record in the East. All I did was just pick Detroit on the money line, and guess who decided to win the game? The Washington. Just to mess with me. Just to mess with me. You don't win all year, but soon as I pick the best team that you're playing against, you want to win. Just to mess my parlay up.
And that's funny because my dad, he won't do fantasy football because he's said it. I'm gonna pick all commanders. It's like, but they're not. Well, a couple years ago, they're not any good. He's like, I don't care. He gonna pick Taylor Heineke as his quarterback for fantasy football,
Right.
and he don't
Now
bet
I
on games
played
because he would pick him every time.
I played in 3 leagues. I won 2 of them. And it's so hard. I mean, you love your team so much. You're either gonna pick them, you can't pick it. Like the year I won, I think, yeah. Did we play? Well, but we was playing it. Somebody was on the team that we was playing against. on my fantasy team that the Redskins were playing against. So it was like I just took him out the lineup. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to root. You know, I can't root for you against my team.
Yeah. See, it was fun. So Dad had season tickets for the Commander, or I keep saying Redskins, whatever. But the Redskins for years and years. And going for me, I would always wear my Buffalo stuff. But I'm not rooting for the Redskins, but I'm not rooting against them. So I'm just watching. But when I started doing fantasy football, and I'd have a fantasy player, whether it's against them or on the Commanders, that would always make it a little more entertaining to go watch because I had a player to root for. Because I would tell them like, I want you guys to win, but I want Demarius Thomas to have 3 touchdowns. But you guys can still win.
It's fantasy football. I haven't done it in a while, but you know what? I hate what I mean. I can't. I don't know what it is about it. I cannot stand fantasy football shows.
Oh,
It's
I don't.
like, oh God, they the biggest geeks in the world on there. You could tell they have never, but you
Wait,
put
there's
all
no,
them
there's
damn
no,
numbers and they go through the analytics and all that dumb shit. Ugh,
there's no fantasy football show on this network, is there?
is it?
I don't,
Oh,
I
shit.
don't, I,
I don't
I don't,
think
I don't, I
so.
don't, I don't, I don't think there is. There was in our past. I think they followed us. They're probably gone now
Oh
because
yeah,
we're not
yeah,
there.
yeah. On that other place.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
show's probably not on the air no more because they don't have us to follow.
I don't think it lasted.
All right, so real quick, my uncle responded to so he's been to both stadiums for Cleveland, and he's saw Cleveland lose to Buffalo in Cleveland, and he said that it says as soon as the Ravens changed their name from Baltimore Browns to the Ravens. So do you remember them initially, or they were talked about they were going to be the Baltimore Browns? I don't really
What's funny is
remember.
I piss Raven fans off, and I still call them the Browns because they really are. You know?
He said Cleveland went to court to keep the name, so they went with the
Yeah,
Ravens. He says I have a video introducing the Baltimore Browns.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Cleveland went to court to keep the name. You know, because it
So I think
belongs
he
in
was going to
Cleveland.
be, huh?
It had too much history to come to
Yeah.
Baltimore. You know what I'm saying?
So
Just
I
like the
think he was
Colts.
going to be a Baltimore Browns fan, but
Mm,
as soon as they changed the name, it's funny that said that because when Buffalo was up for sale, and the rumors were that Bon Jovi was close to buying him, and he was going to take him to Toronto,
right,
and the other guy that was supposed to buy him was our president, Donald Trump. He was this close to
right.
getting him, and he was going to take him to Atlantic City. Now, if they would have been the Toronto Bills or the Atlantic City Bills and had the same logo, same colors, then I'm all in. Remember, I'm not a Buffalo fan. I'm a Bills fan. So I'm all for that. But I have no attachment to the city or attachment to that. So I'm just glad they stayed in Buffalo because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. That's what I'm a fan of.
Nobody circled the wagon. I was watching 30 for 30. What do they call it? The four something of Buffalo. You ever
The
watch it?
four falls of Buffalo, the Niagara Falls. Not yes, the four falls of Buffalo. I've seen it.
The term, and they just sitting there watching, and they just so damn quiet. They just looking. They just both got a sick feeling.
It's funny. Randomly on my YouTube recommendations popped up the Redskins Buffalo Super Bowl highlights. I clicked on it because I don't have much memory of it, and I haven't gone
Mm.
back and watched anything of it. And I didn't know the first couple drives turned out the way they did. Like Buffalo had opportunities.
It was
Like you
zero
got,
zero
well, yeah, but
after
you
the
guys
first
like
quarter.
you had a field goal kick that you guys fumbled and messed up. We
Mhm.
got an interception off you guys, but Kelly and the offense couldn't do anything.
Nope. It was
I didn't
zero
realize it
zero
was
after
I
the
didn't
first.
realize it was like that in the beginning where Buffalo had opportunities to get something going and they didn't take advantage of it.
Nope. And then the wheels really fell off. They
All right,
got frustrated. Andre Reed
oh
slamming his helmet.
yeah. So we
Thurman
got
forgetting his helmet.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that was part of it too, but cuz you guys got the ball, went 3 and out. Buffalo gets the ball, a decent field position, and Thurman's not in the game. They hand the ball off to, I think it was Kenneth Davis. There you go, nowhere. And then Kelly doesn't do anything. Yeah, just from the beginning, it just started bad, and they
Yeah,
couldn't
because Kenneth
capitalize.
Davis lined up on the wrong spot. If you watch it again, Kelly goes the handoff in one direction, he's in the other direction.
So Human Google said the name and the records. Yeah, so Cleveland has everything still. Yeah, the
And
Baltimore
the
the
coast records went to Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, so we were gonna do another big segment, kind of, but we are having fun today,
yeah.
and we're almost at it. We're almost out of time, so we'll just give some final thoughts on a few things. Maybe talk about how we're gonna do the show. Because if you guys watch every week, obviously our show's centered around football a lot, but I think we're gonna transition a little bit to basketball. Be a little more basketball stuff.
Basketball, and I'm thinking of a segment. I gotta get in contact with the smooth operator, see if he has time to do it. If he can come on like once a month and get in contact with nephew Josh. They going I'm not gonna tell you the name. I think y'all gonna like the name.
So what you've
For
come
the
to see,
segment.
what you've come to see throughout this show, you'll still get the same style of show, the same kind of humor and stuff that we do. Just going to be a little different segments, a little different thing we talk about. And when the WNBA, we'll cover, we'll talk about some of that. I'm actually interested in that. I like watching the WNBA. Uh, so we'll cover some of that. We probably won't talk too much hockey, but we don't need to because we have that covered on the network. Tune in every Monday.
But I think we will.
Oh,
Mm,
all right.
like I said, smooth
Okay.
operator. I hope you're listening.
But yeah, so we're gonna do some basketball. We'll probably talk a little more UFC. We'll try to get that incorporated in. And then obviously we'll still talk. We will make sure there's stuff to talk about. The NFL will make sure we have plenty of stuff to talk about with football because
Of
that's what football
course.
does. I think the combine
NFL
does
is the
bigger
machine.
ratings than the Stanley Cup.
The NFL is the machine. It's always going to be something to talk about.
And we even
Always.
isn't FIFA this isn't again. I'm ignorant to soccer, even though my wife's Latino. The FIFA World Cup isn't that this year?
I think it
Uh,
is.
okay, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. Until I see the numbers start going down, and then we won't talk about it no more.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Yeah, it's time to get out of here.
I mean, we got like 2, 3, 4 minutes. If you just want to shoot the shit.
Shoot the shit. All
Yeah.
right.
Anything on your mind? Anything you want to talk about with the season?
Um, no, I like your Commanders flying high next year.
I
I'm
just
not
think the
just saying it
division's
because
wide
I'm a
open. I
homer.
I, I
I'm just
really
saying
do.
it because I think Philadelphia is going to be in disarray. Dallas is who they are. And I don't think Harbaugh is going to be able to handle New York City. You know, I like the Raiders. I like Matty Ice's Raiders. I like their potential. You know, who knows if Mahomes is going to come back healthy?
Kelsey
Harbaugh
might retire and all that.
has
Yeah.
yet to do anything to me impressive. I mean, he came there with big expectations. He got them to the playoffs, but then they stink in the playoffs. Bo Nix and Sean Payton, I think they got a little disagreement. Is that the human Google? Yes, the World Cup is this year. Count on that guy always. All right, man. We got to hurry up, get to the airport because tell them what's coming up next.
The Tuesday night flight featuring the guy that gets said more on this show, I think, than Josh Allen, the Midnight Rider. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
man.
oh
This is where it's, you ain't tuning into the Sideline Jockey Podcast Network for all the nephew Josh is what he said.
he said,
Tell,
you keep talking about the Harbaugh.
that's your boy. You hyped him up. He said he was a top 10 coach before he even coached one game for the Chargers. You think he's still top 10 coach, nephew? Watch he say he's gonna say something about Justin Herbert. I can't watch. He probably gonna say it now because I called him out.
Yeah, and in a few weeks we'll sprinkle in. We'll do some top 10 coaches going in the next season, top 10 quarterbacks down in we can do all
Yeah,
that.
we throw some in.
Yeah.
Especially I want to talk Hall of Fame since all this Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah, this and it's a lot of people out there. A lot of Redskin fans think certain people belong in the Hall of Fame, and
So he said I thought Herbert was great. Yes, he's a top 10 coach. All right, so
you
we got
think he's
stuff.
a top 10 coach? Fly guy, you think You think Jim
I'd
Harbaugh right now is a top 10 coach?
I'd have to sit down and look at it and start see, I would have put McVay over McDermott over Harbaugh, but I can't do that now. So that moves him up a spot.
Oh, yeah, he ain't got no job.
I know. And Tomlin is gone now. Oh, and then John just got fired. Off the top of my head, maybe he's 9, 10, 11. I'd have to sit down. All right, so all right, here you go. Thanks, Josh. We'll plug it for next week. Next week, tune in for Lee Ice's and Flying Brian's top 10 coaches heading into the 2026 season.
It is. You just gave us a segment next week, nephew. We thank you for that, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Any last thoughts? Any last comments?
No, just looking forward to doing the show for the rest without football. And
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Matty, I'm gonna be getting with you, smooth operator. You too, nephew. I got something in plan for you. Like I said, I just need y'all maybe once or twice a month. So you are listening and looking at the best podcast network out there, the Sideline Junkie Podcast Network. This is Unapologetic Sports. We leave you like we always leave you. In the words of Ric Flair, whether you like it or don't like it, damn it, you better learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. Well, my guy, the fly guy, Uncle Lee Ice. I like it. See y'all.